Hi guys, welcome to the Ask the Officer of this week. I am here with Priscilla. Of course, Olivia and Tabitha were supposed to come as well. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, so we'll be just talking on their behalf maybe, or giving their updates and stuff. So I hope like everyone's doing great, because it's like Christmas time. It's like assessments time. It's a really stressful time, and we discuss this all of the time, the full-time officers, how difficult when we were students, this time period was, because of the stress caused because of the exams, the assessments and stuff. So hope everybody is doing well. And Priscilla, you just may want to say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Trust that you're all doing good, even though you have so much going on at the moment right now. Planning for Christmas at the same time, doing assessments. But hope you're all catching up.
Yeah, and I think we should be warning the everybody that's going to be starting to watch us that Priscilla and I are sharing the same room, so there may be a lot of feedback, a lot of echoing in within our like headphones and stuff. So just wanted to flag that up. But yeah, I think generally we always start with talking about all the different things we've been doing. And I try to make it really student friendly, because a lot of these like terminologies and the words and the acronyms we use sometimes become very difficult for the students to understand. So Priscilla, do you want to maybe talk about what are the things you've been working on, and is there something you'd like the students to know? Is there something that has been on the top of your agenda recently?
Yeah. So in the past 2 weeks, I know we've been here. We're here 2 weeks ago. So in the past 2 weeks, I'm just going to talk about just a few things I've been working on. So we're able to, you know, get our postgraduate taught reps, and they've been inducted and trained right now. And also, I think something that I would like to mention is we attended a meeting for Glasgow Student Forum, and the reason why I'm mentioning is because we are planning. So just look forward to it. We are planning to work on transportation for students. We know that recently it was commissioned for free transportation ride for 21 and below. But we know that we have a lot of mature students. We have a lot of students that are over 21, and we all deserve good transportation as well. So the Glasgow Students Forum, we are working on that. And also we are the 16 days action against gender-based violence started last week Thursday. That was on the 25th. So as people who are against gender-based violence, we are also alongside the uni as well, we are also doing things around that. We had the banner making session. We've been putting up posts online, and then if you can see the old campus, we have all the if it's right behind me, if you can see it as well. So it's just a campaign that we are trying to promote, so would implore that everyone promotes it as well. Also planning the BIM Careers Festival alongside the VPSHLS. And then also, with even though it's quite early, but we started planning the International Women Day campaign for 2022 as well. And then we're also using this point to congratulate all people that graduated. Myself and other FTOs were able to, celebrate with them, have some photo sessions during their gowning and photography and all. It was a very nice one last week, so we also did that. And for GSBS students, there's something called the positive impact rating that we are working on at the moment, myself and a few other students. So this positive impact rating will be like a survey, which will really do a lot of help, but it's mainly for GSBS students. So that's something I'm working on at the moment. And also, like I've been saying, I also did some postgraduate class shout outs. Well, I haven't gone to undergraduates. I've still been doing postgraduate at the moment, and I've really been enjoying it. Meeting a lot of students and letting them know about the student association and how much we can really do. I mean, help them, and it has been a lot of help for some students. At least some students have reached out to me through this shout out I've been doing. And lastly, I don't know if you still remember, but one of our team objective is the student partnership agreement. So we are already, working on something, and very soon we'll be able to give you a more concrete thing. So that's it for me. And so, would you like to also let everyone know what you've been working on for the past 2 weeks as well?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it really, really quick. I think a lot of the things you already mentioned, Priscilla. What we have done and what we were doing. I think one of the things, in terms of the bus travel, First Minister came in. I think I've told the students many times that Principal and I welcomed and thanked the First Minister for the new scheme for the free bus travel under 22s. But one of the things that I had in my manifesto was making that more accessible to all students, not just students aged under 22. So I've been working on that. I think recently I invited one of the government's political party, one key member from the government's political party, who I believe was a key member in terms of the student liaison, because they were the student president for the political party, the president of the student wing, basically. And so I think the response, in the meeting itself, the response was quite good. They were quite supportive of making, asking the government, asking the kind of main political party of rolling it out further to all the students. And that is planned on going in the Scottish National Party's executive committee's agenda in the next conference of the party. So that's going to happen somewhere in March, April, or something, I think. But at the meantime, I'm also trying to look into like contacting other student wings of other major mainstream political parties in Scotland, trying to get everybody on the same page here, because it's not something that's institution specific. It's not something that's a specific group of students specific. It's something that the entire country needs to focus on. All the students need to focus on, because not only I think rolling this out to all of the students would make it more accessible, especially if you're a widening access university like GCU. We're a widening access university. We try to like students from remote postcodes, from different regions, from faraway regions as well. And making this possible would make education more accessible, and also make it more greener, as per the whole discussions we had at COP26 as well. So that's something I've just tried to cut it really short. Of course, there's more stuff in that, but that's something that I've been working on. And then we all know the conversation about the new virus Omicron, and it's something that's been discussed a lot recently. And it's been worrying a lot of the students. It's been worrying the sector entirely. National Union of Students facilitate this conversation with the minister, and I attended that conversation as well. Minister of Education, of course, Jamie Hepburn, and the interim chief policy advisor for health for the Scottish government. And I asked a few questions that I really wanted to know in terms of what we're looking at for the future. How trimester B is going to be like, what's going to happen in Christmas, how are students going to be able to travel back home, PCR test, hotel quarantine. So I raised all of those questions with these the key members, and got to know a lot of the information that I will be kind of updating on in due time. I'm just waiting on some further kind of clarification. And speaking of that, learning and teaching in trimester B, everybody wants to know more about it. We've been really proactive as an association and student reps, and talking to the university about how are we looking at trimester B, because we know that our students want to see more learning and teaching happening on campus. We know that our students want to be able to come on campus, indulge themselves in these activities, face-to-face interactions. So what are we planning on for trimester B? Are we increasing? Are we not increasing? Because we really do want to increase. And as of now, I can say that we are online. We are on track of raising the number of learning and teaching we are going to have in trimester B. Um, I think I've seen the letter that has been issued by the Scottish government cabinet secretary in particular to the principals. And to be honest, when I saw that, I was quite disheartened. I was quite upset, because they were once again telling all these principals of Scotland to retain the level of learning and teaching that happened in trimester A. Whereas I don't think they do understand that why do institutions only learning and teaching need to follow that, when the rest of the society is not being asked. You can go out in clubs, you can go out at bars, but you can't be in that normal learning and teaching environment. You have to cap those numbers. You have to make those like extra restrictions in place. So it just doesn't adds up. So um so yeah, we've had that conversation with the university, and as of now, I think we're on a positive note in terms of this. And Glasgow Students Forum meeting. You've already mentioned that, Priscilla. I think it was after 2 years that we had Glasgow Students Forum at a meeting for Glasgow Students Forum at GCU Students Association. Because of the pandemic, we didn't get a chance to do that, and it was really good that this discussions were really good as well. And I think a lot of institutions came in. We had University of Glasgow, reps from University of Glasgow. We had reps from University of Strathclyde, reps from University of West of Scotland, and Glasgow City College. So a lot of these institutions came in. We had a bunch of conversations. um, I think the travel one, we had a major the major part of the travel discussion was in the first meeting we had, and it was quite informative. But in the second meeting, I think we discussed a lot of the things that each of these institutions are facing. And it's important, because for us to understand the entire sector situation is quite important for us to function as a student movement at GCU. So I think that went really, really well. And as you may know, Priscilla, I had my bag with me when I attended the Glasgow Students Forum meeting, and I had to leave right after that for London to attend the whole graduation session, which actually went really, really good. I think particularly in London, because I had to, I had a chance to see like emotions, families. I had, students were bringing in their families were clapping, and you saw that emotion, that typical graduation kind of emotions. And that really felt it. I started clapping with all of them as well, because it was such a really good moment. And the graduations at Glasgow as well, they went really well. I think I had to stand for like 7 hours for 2 days, or 6 hours for 2 days in Glasgow. So it was quite tiring. And thanks a lot to you guys for helping me out in the graduations. So I think all of those things, have kept me occupied. And there's other stuff that I've been kind of working on, but I will be updating on that in due time, of course. So that's enough of the updates. I think we've talked too much, maybe, Priscilla, me and you. What do you think is what would you say to the students? Because we talked about the assessment period, we talked about the stress that comes with it, we've talked about how difficult this time period may be. What's your kind of word? What's your message to the students? What are the wise words that Priscilla would like to tell the students today?
I don't know if I will call it wise words, but I think I mean, personally, what I would have done at this period where it feels like everything is, together, assessments, and at the same time planning for the next year, planning for Christmas, planning for what you want to do with family issues and all of that. So, I mean, what I would have done, and which I would advise anybody to do, is have a proper planning. If possible, you could take out 1 hour, take out a few minutes, just to sit down. I mean, I have this course at this time, I have this at this time, and then I'm traveling at this time. Just have a proper planning, because if you plan traveling, let's say on the 16th or the 17th, and you still have a lot of things to do, your head might just be, oh, I'm too overwhelmed. So, but if you have everything planned, you say by this time I'm finishing this, it kinds of really helps. So that would just be my advice. Take out some minutes, take out some time, just to have proper planning and proper documentation of what you want to do. With that plan, you will be able to contain yourself, and you will not become too overwhelmed or too full of whatever it is that you need to do. So that's just my small advice.
Those actually are wise words, Priscilla. I'm not sure why you're saying those aren't wise words, but yeah. I think, because I think I want to say something to the students about this as well. But just before that, anyone who's watching, you can drop a comment if you want to ask a question, if you want to know anything about anything in your experience as student, if you want to share like how's this time period going with you, how are you feeling in this time period. And if you want to flag something, maybe, or if you want to just share your experience, we always love to hear from the students, and get you involved in the conversation, to be honest. So I basically was trying to say the same, Priscilla. I think that it is, and I'm not the best person to say this, because I don't really I'm not really good at time management. I'm not really good at I wouldn't say I'm not good at time management, but I just think I will. I'm okay with working extra and sometimes working overtime, and that's not good, and that the same could translate into a learning and teaching environment where you've got academics lined up, and you could overwork yourself, and that's not really good. That's not good for your mental health, and that's not good for the long run as well. And that's something that students need to understand. It's better not to burn out than to do everything you have to do and then like burn out. I think if you time it well, like you said, Priscilla, you can actually avoid burning out, because it's not a great feeling, to be honest, when you put in like 7-8 hours a day, or at least I used to do that. And then at the end of the day, you're just like, oh, I'm exhausted, I can't do anything else. So it's important to like time yourself. It's important to like have those rest and breaks in between. Um so so yeah, definitely. And
Sorry if I could.
y-
Sorry, Adil.
yeah, come on in. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could add something, I just kind of remember that if you get to that point, I mean, if you're at that point where you feel, okay, this is too much and I don't know what to do, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Adil, the advice center is also there. You can go to the advice center that, oh, I have like a swamp of things to do and it's becoming too much. The advice center, that's the reason why, one of the reasons why they are there. So they could also help you out with whatever it is that you have to do.
Yeah, and I think the problem is a lot of students don't really know like the benefits of the advice center, or where they could come in their help, or come in handy for them. And it's really important. And we need to work on like promoting it further. We Although we already do send these emails out to all the students and stuff, but I think it's a really important tool. It's a really important service. It's a really important place for you to, get these kinds of support, get these kinds of help. And it really does make a difference, when you hear, advice coming in from somebody who's actually a professional. These are all the advice, the advisors at the advice center, they're trained professionals. It's basically their occupation. They're trained to do that. They're trained to advise you and to give you the best kind of advice you need in your particular situation. And so hearing it from those kinds of people, I think it really does make a difference. You get a perspective that you know that it's coming from a professional, it's coming from experience, it's coming from a person that knows what they're talking about. And so I completely agree with you, Priscilla. And it's just something that I think all of us need to understand, that the advice center is there to help our students, and it's important to reach out to them whenever necessary. And stress is, this Christmas period is a big example. Of course, when it comes to like academics, you've got other spaces like learning and developing center, but that as well, that also is something that not a lot of students understand or know about. And it only comes to a time period when examinations or assessments are close, when they start getting to know about learning and development center. However, the most effective way of going about it is to like get in touch with the learning and development center as soon as you start in your trimester or whatever, because that gives you an opportunity to have that constant feedback thing going on. So so I agree completely 100%, Priscilla, on that. So I think switching that from from the students to you again, Priscilla, what are your Christmas plans? And I'm actually want to ask the students as well, because I know that everybody has a lot of exciting Christmas plans planned in the break. So what are you? Let's start with you, Priscilla.
Well, my Christmas plans. Well, I'm staying right here in Glasgow. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going somewhere, by the way. So, I think just a little tour here and there. Maybe go to Edinburgh with myself and my family. Go to London and just visit a few places, enjoy myself. That's what I'm just planning to do basically, and have a lot of rest before coming back in January. That's my plan. How about you, Adio?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan, Priscilla. You can't always travel. It's really tiring. So I think for me, I am going to be going back to my. It's been 12 months since I haven't had a chance to like go back to my home country, where because I'm an international student. I basically come from Pakistan, and so I am going to be visiting my home country, and that'll be after like more than 12 months or something. And But the traveling, it's just so like it's really bad, because you have to be in the flight for 12 hours, and it's exhausting. It's 12 hours of going, 12 hours of coming back, and it's just insane. Sometimes I read books in the airplane. I read books, I'm doing like all this like productive stuff, but then you just get tired and you're just like, you don't have anything to do. And you're stuck in an airplane for 12 hours and you don't have anything to do. So
And then you sleep
unfortunately,
and wake up.
exactly, yeah. But I've got a problem. I can't sleep inside an airplane. I mean, I can try, but I can never sleep. I sleep and I wake up in like 25 minutes or a half hour. So I may need to fix that problem before I head back this time. But yeah, so there you go. I think I'll be going somewhere, around 20 or 22nd or something December, and then coming back in, early mid January. Um, so looking forward to it. And then I've got my birthday coming up, which I'm planning on celebrating in Glasgow. So 21st of January. It's not so far away, and so
That's good to know.
I've got good occasions lined up, Priscilla. So I've got some events coming up. But there you go. That's my Christmas plan, and yeah. So is there anything you want to ask, Priscilla? Anything in terms of like, I don't know if you've got like any burning questions that you want to ask, maybe the students, or maybe maybe myself or yourself. Anything?
I think I'm just going to ask how, we have just a few months left. I know it's still about 6 months, but I mean, how is it going with all your plans and everything that you planned, your manifesto points or your objectives? How are they going?
I think that's a brilliant question, Priscilla, to be honest. And I think you're completely right. Time flies and you never notice. I think I can't believe it's been like, what, 5 months? Or some 6 months. Wow, 6 months since, I took office as the student president. And it feels like it's only been like 1 month, 2 months or something. But yeah, you have to face the music, you have to face the reality. In terms of the manifesto, I think I spent a lot of time researching all of my manifesto points, and I was quite serious about all of them. Before I started my office, a day before, I officially started my role, I developed this like action plan, which was timed to months. So each month I, divided all the things that I wanted to do. And as of now, I've been on track. I've been doing everything that I had to do. So I'm quite happy about that. I'm quite satisfied with the work that I put in. Of course, like I mentioned before, you can't really do this in a 9 to 5 base. It's not possible, because you only realize this the number of meetings you have after you step into the shoes, after you like get into the officer positions, because it seems like you'll have all the time of the day and you'll be able to like get everything done. It's not like that. You have a lot of predefined meetings that you have to attend. It's like you don't have a say in it. You can prioritize, you can say no to some of them, but your day is already planned for you. Like literally, that's the easiest way to put it. Your day is already planned for you. Your meetings are already set in your calendar. You don't get to, you have a say, but it's really hectic. So the only way you can make sure you're on track with the manifesto, with the goals, with the things you want to change, is either, if you're really really good at time management, which is quite rare to find, to be honest, you then have to like spend some time outside of the normal 9 to 5 working hours. So which has happened with me. I'm glad to say that I've been on track, and I'm quite happy with the progress, with the responses I've received from the university regarding these points, with the progress that we've been able to make. I mean, just a recent example, I had like 3 points for a few points for furthering the support offered to disabled students, and I crafted that into a motion, got it passed from equality and diversity, and now the university is taking that on board. So they're starting their discussions, and I'm quite positive that's going to be implemented soon as well, because I think it's about consistency. You want to make sure that the your predefined stuff, or whatever your obligations are, do not get mixed up with what you actually wanted to achieve before you came in this role, because it because of the music, because of the noise, you can mix up a lot of things. So I'm quite happy with that, Priscilla. And what about you? Because I know all the things that you really wanted to do, because we've had this conversation before, and I asked, and I told you this. You seem quite enthusiastic about the things you want to do. So what's your progress? How are you finding it? How's the first like 5 6 months been for you?
Well, honestly, it's not very easy, not as easy as as I thought, because just like you said, coming in, you would have thought you're just coming in to do whatever it is that you said you were going to do, but that's usually not the case. The case is a lot of other things that are just trying to get your attention. But all the same, I think both everything I planned coming in and all the things I also picked up, because it's a thing for you to have something planned, but when you come in as an officer, there are some things that you need to pick up when you trying to set your objectives. So but thankfully everything, even though it's not yet where I want it to be, unlike Adil. So Adil already has it all planned, but I mean, I've started working on each and every one of them, just taking it one step at a time, and hopefully, I get to finish them all before. We have another 2 months, another 6 months that looks like 1 month, like Adu said. So, yeah, that's just what I'm working on. Thankfully, I'm able to do something about everything. There's somebody that is actually assisting in all the parts of everything I'm just trying to do. So it's not easy, but at least because of the little assistance that we are getting, it makes it a bit easy. So yeah, so that's it for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I completely get that part, because it's I when I started off the role, well, to be honest, the jump from first year to second year, it's not that hard. It's not hard at all. But the jump from no year to first year, like I mean, in terms of this office, being an officer, when you first start the role, you really underestimate a lot of things. You underestimate the entire role. You underestimate the time you'll need, and then but when you jump from the first year to the second year, which is your last year, that's quite easy. That's not really that hard. You're realistic. You understand the restrictions, the limitations. So you make goals which that are not unrealistic. You make goals which that it's not going to be that hard to achieve, and you can plan all these things out. So completely agree with you on that part. I guess I just while we were talking, I think one thing that I think we should be updating the students about, Priscilla, is the 16 days of activism, and the campaign we're holding about
Yeah, I was going
against.
to ask
Yeah.
about our plans for the next 2 weeks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I think the students would be quite excited to know more about that, because I know that we've engaged a lot of our students this year in terms of the campaigns, in terms of like making sure that they're able to do so, and they're encouraged to come forward, uh, be a part of these like political campaigns, be a make sure that their voices are kind of heard. So I think would you want to go and kind of briefly update on this, Priscilla? Or would you like me to do it?
Let me just give a brief update, and you can just
Yep.
touch on it. So I know, like I said, we've been putting up a lot of articles, a lot of blog posts regarding the 16 days of activism, and that's why it's 16 days, because we've got a lot of time to do different things. One of the things I mean, we have some workshops that we'll be trying to work on, but then one of the things I would like to let everybody know would be next week Thursday, if I'm correct. That's on the 7th of December. Yes. Adeo, am I right? The walk, the walk, is that 7th of this,
Oh, that's the Reclaim the Night. It's the Reclaim the Night
the Fight for the
campaign.
Night
Yeah, Fight for the
March.
Night. Sorry, yeah, that's a Fight for the Night.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, okay, no, it's not 7th, it's 9th of December. Yeah, so we would also be posting how the match will go on, and would like everyone to try to join us for the match. It will be a nice one. Other university will also be joining for that, and we're probably going to have another banner making session in while preparing for that. So if you do, we will post it up so everyone can get to know about it. We're also having a kind of should I call it a workshop or an event, which is called the Dirty Laundry event. So we'll be posting everything up on our social media, on website and blog and all. And I think Adil is also working. Well, I think Adil will just explain that to you. We're having a panel discussion, kind of interesting thing. So maybe Adil can explain that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. So basically, this campaign is about raising our voices against like gender-based violence and being really strong against it. And there was a specific issue that was outlined by some of one of the people I knew externally outside of the university, and it was about something to do with the law, the lack of immigration. It was a law which didn't really protect a specific demographic of like people. And so I got into it. I asked a couple of people, and I got to know that yeah, that actually was the case. So there in some, I mean, I can't really be more specific about it because I don't want to kind of confuse the students. But in the current law, in the current home office law, uh, some partners are not protected by in some cases of domestic abuse. And so this campaign, this specific like panel discussion, is going to highlight that. And I'm now working on getting MSPs, MPs specifically, because it's a Westminster thing. Home office is always a Westminster thing mostly. And so MPs are really important, and I'm trying to get them all in this discussion, in this panel discussion. And then I'm trying to get um, some of the victims and keeping them anonymized, because it's important to protect their like safety, but it's also important that we create this like opportunity for them to raise it, because not a lot of people know about this. I'm pretty sure that 9 out of 10 people that I've talked to about this issue, they don't know that this exists. They don't know this loophole in the law. They don't know about this gap. And so us raising a light on this, I think it's really important, and that's a significant part to be raised in this like campaign. It's quite important as well. And that's going to be held in the last in the in ending kind of days of the campaigning, because I need to make a lot of like
I think that will
preparations
be
for that.
December 10th. I think
Yep.
December 10th is the last day.
Yep, thanks for that, Priscilla. Not good for the dates. I need to memorize all the dates. But yeah, so it's a really good, and we'll be making sure to like letting all the students know about this, because we need more students to be joining. We need all the students we can, of course, because it's for a for a good cause. So that's kind of like the outline. Priscilla has
Yeah,
given.
I forgot to
Yep.
mention one thing.
Yep.
So just in case, we are also going to do a collection point for Women's Aid. There's some women that go through domestic gender-based violence that they need help. So would be part of the 16 days action would be getting some kind of aid for them. So in case you see us somewhere trying to get aid, just know that's the reason, and you can drop your widow's mite as well. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yep, that's amazing. And we don't know the date of the second like banner making session, but it's going to happen. We're going to plan this out, and it's important for us all to like join together, and specifically when it comes to like these banner making sessions, because we use them to kind of raise their voice. This is like the kind of fundamental way we raise our voices, of course, so we'll release the details for the banner making sessions, but we really love to see all the students kind of joining, because it's also a good opportunity for us all to kind of interact with each other. It's always amazing to for example, the climate action strike. All of these, me and Priscilla have in our like backgrounds. These are banners we've made. And I can't I'm really bad because the whole screen is mirrored. All these like banners we made, they're really good in terms of the campaigns and stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And I've just realized I need to like set up, clean up this thing. That's my graduation gown, still there, and I need to return it. I haven't had a chance to return it yet, so apologies for the background, people. um, but yeah, I think that's all from me, to be honest, in
mm,
terms of the campaign, Priscilla, unless I'm missing something.
no, that's it. Although, do you have any announcements you would like to make? Like,
I don't no announcement as of yet. I think the top of the agenda of my top of the agenda right now is learning and teaching in trimester B, the new variant, the sector's response, and conversations with the executive board, with the high ups of the university. But nothing that I have to announce as of now, apart from what I've already have.
okay, I think I kind of have one or two announcements, and the first would be I know during in October, which was the Black History Month, we actually got the Common Good Fund, but we got it late. Now that we've gotten the Common Good Fund, we felt okay, we really have to use it for what we got it for, and that's for an event for all Black people and BAME people just to come together to celebrate being Black. So we have moved it to December 14th. December 14th is, I think, 2 Tuesdays, in 2 Tuesdays. So just want everyone to, prepare towards it. We'll bring out the poster and the flyers and everything, so you could know the details of, just letting you know that we have something like that coming up. And I think my second one would be the pop quiz. So the pop quiz is also that same 14th. We have pop quiz. So from the pop quiz, we go into the celebration for the Black History Month, and that would be 5 to 6. Uh, Adi, am I right?
Yeah, I think it's 4 to 5 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Priscilla, we'll get back to you guys. We'll drop a comment with the right time. Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay, so those are the announcements I just have.
Right, cool. And about the pub quiz, I think it's really fun because we've held these pub quizzes online in the past, and it's always it's always really fun because I'm really bad at pub quizzes. I never won a pub quiz in my life because I don't know. It's not me. It's because of the questions all these pub quizzes have. I wouldn't know the answers to, like, they make it so difficult. I don't really look at, like, I don't know movie stars by their names, and that's, if you don't know that, you're bound to fail every, like, pub quiz, because every most pub quiz I've been in, they ask you, okay, who's that guy, who's that movie star, and I just can't, I can't cope with that. I don't know. But if you want to see me lose, drop by at the pub quiz, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, that's all. I don't have any other announcements, to be honest, but if I ever do, because these days it's been really fast paced, so we sometimes, us as the full-time officer, we don't always rely on the ask the officer. If a immediate update comes up, we just post it out on our social media and then wait for the next ask the officer. So if anything pops up, make sure to check my social media accounts, because I always make sure to be as fast as I can in terms of updating the students. But yeah, that's all for today. Thanks to everybody for watching, and hopefully we get a chance to see you all on campus one day, meet face to face. And yeah, bye for now. Thanks a lot.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.